Middle of the rush hour, it has dumped the latest report saying at least 8 cars and a truck into the water and into the land below, creating this rather horrific scene of damage, fire, smoke, injuries, and frantic rescue operations. And as you can well imagine, a lot of terrified motorists there as well.
First decrepit, then horrific. What did you learn out of Mercedes' story, Bob?
Well, the
She
first
went
thing
down with the bridge, right?
13 people were killed, and it was remarkable that more people didn't lose their lives in that catastrophe. Dozens were badly injured. The two things that I learned was, one, how difficult it was to recuperate from the most severe injuries. The people who were, many people who were horribly injured in that catastrophe had a terrible time coming back, and in many cases never fully recovered. They weren't the same people afterwards. But what I also did was the research in bridge collapses and other infrastructure catastrophes in the United States. And you'll find that the bridge collapses were not all that unusual, that there's been a history of them over a long period of time. And one of the reasons is because we don't maintain these structures. We don't do our due diligence.
Why not?
In terms of taking care of them. In part because our policymakers, elected politicians, have to decide on a number of priorities. And infrastructure is, I like to say, the least sexy word in the language. So you don't get votes by going out and talking about painting bridges, even though the bridges need to be painted.
Your destination is on the left.
So what happens is money that should go into maintenance and upgrading of things like bridges and dams and that sort of thing, highways and overpasses, actually go to other things. Sometimes it goes to take care of budget deficits. Sometimes it goes into schools, which are important as well. Sometimes it goes to cut taxes. And then we don't really pay attention until something terrible happens.
You write about schools and Pittsburgh in particular.
Pittsburgh was another place that I went to, and again, I used the Pittsburgh situation to illustrate what is in fact a national problem. In Pittsburgh, you had a couple of parents who were fighting against what were devastating budget cuts that came at the time of the Great Recession. This was a few years after the terrible downturn of 2008, 2009. There was a new governor in Pittsburgh, and he cut nearly $2 billion from the education budget for the state, and it was just devastating.